Thank you. Good morning, everybody. Hopefully everybody's having a great show this past few days. We've chosen the topic here today about thriving in the age of AI agents. And there's a reason that we chose that topic, and we believe that we're at a point where you have a choice to make. And we also believe that for you to thrive, you actually have to reimagine the way you work. And that's going to be the basis of the next 20 minutes. Every time I speak to a CIO, they ask me one question. What's different about your offering? And we think it's a great question, but we actually think it's incomplete. We actually think the question that people should ask us is, what's better? Because the road and the journey we're all on is actually to be relevant to our employees, to our customers, and to our partners for decades to come. So we like to answer the question, what makes us better, not just what makes us different. My name is Cathal McCarthy. I serve as the Chief Strategy Officer at Core.ai. You're welcome to join our booth, 1753, a little bit later. But we believe that we're at a moment in time that AI agents and humans can achieve something that if they continue to act independently, that they will never achieve. But if they join collectively, they're going to deliver something really transformative, not just automation of our existing processes. Let me share one slide on who Core.ai is. We build enterprise AI agents. In fact, we let you build enterprise agents, the kind that help organizations orchestrate AI agents front to back, end to end, employee experience, and customer experience. We help companies on their journey not just to automate, but to transform at scale and deliver meaningful outcomes. So thriving in the new age of AI agents. Over the last 2 years, we've all become a little different in how we work. We brought AI into our personal lives and into our professional lives. We've added them to our toolkit, our AI toolkit. In fact, many of us, at least on paper, are AI first companies. And that's where we're going to poke a little bit in the next while, because we believe that many companies, while they're bringing AI into their companies, they're sprinkling it in an unstructured manner. So you will get positive outcomes, but it's not done in a coordinated, compliance, fully observable way. It's been an interesting 2 years. If you wind back the clock over the last 24 months, and you look at how the narrative has changed and emerged, we started with significant optimism. Billions of dollars been invested. The enthusiasm for advances certainly emerged. And then about 4 or 5 months ago, on the back of a series of maybe MIT articles, we got buyer fatigue, we got pilot purgatory, we got news of experiments failing. But we also still believe at Core we're at a critical moment of inflection, and that inflection point is ahead of us. Now, we get the privilege of talking to hundreds of customers every single day, every single month across the globe. And there's one comment that struck me recently. I was in London at a dinner, and an executive said, we're an automation, or not an automation, we're a transformation or transport company first, we're not an AI first company. And I thought, what a superpower. This executive knows what they're doing. And then I actually felt, maybe this is their kryptonite, because they're catching themselves in a trap. And the trap is just focusing on the productivity frontier. The productivity frontier is really important. It's important to your shareholders, it's important to your employees, but it's not enough. They're not challenging the business model. In fact, here's a tactile board that we have deployed at all of our events over the past year, whether it's in Mumbai, Dallas, New York, and we ask people, how are you thinking about AI? And everybody, irrespective of the city, is saying, how do I become more competitive? They're missing the point of AI. AI is the first tool in generations that is going to allow us innovate our business. It's going to allow us transform what we do. It's going to allow us build new products and services, but all of our attention has been dominated by how do we drive ROI? Again, ROI is important. We deliver outcomes, but how do you get yourself on that journey to true transformation? Every one of us, as you walk around this floor, are going to look at very similar tools. RAG search engine, LLMs, SLMs, TLMs. It's not necessarily what you look at, but it's how you look at them. When Martin Luther King stood up, he didn't say, I've got a project plan. He said he had a dream. When John Lennon wrote his song, he wrote Imagine, right? When JFK said, let's go to the moon, he said, we're going to do it not because it's easy, but because it's hard. So our opportunity at this moment inflection is not just to look at the tools, but how do we look at our business and what are the opportunities that we see ahead? So are you seeing a duck? Or are you seeing a rabbit? We have all lived through moments of significant transformation. We've all lived through the tech revolution. The one thing we know that happens when you have a revolution taking place is that points of friction emerge, points of tension emerge, but it's the ones that transform their business model are the ones that realize the true gains. Now let's have a little bit of fun. If you look at Ken Olsen, who was the CEO of Digital Equipment, there exists no reason why everybody should have a PC. I'm not sure if everybody remembers, DEC was a big company once upon a time. The cell phone, Marty Cooper, Director of Research, again, he believed that they will not replace landlines. And maybe this one is a little bit true, but Jamie Dimon had a very strong point on cryptocurrency. Each one of these people were the people that were closest to the revolution, but they stared at the world through a lens that was tied to their history. It was tied to a world of optimization of everything that they have built. So let's just talk about the age of AI agents. What does that actually mean? For us, it's a shift. It's truly a shift to autonomous. And I encourage you all to get your definition of what AI agents means to you. It's not deterministic chatbots. That is your legacy world. And still, when we speak to people, they're looking at how do I make my chatbot better, okay? These are providing us with independent reasoning. They can engage in multi-step tasks. So don't think just inside of your vertical or your function. Think cross-functionally across your world, and they can make decisions. These are no longer the passive. They're the autonomous doers. They're the workflow operators, and they're the intelligence amplifiers. And that's a major decision for us all to make. How do we want our labor force to show up? Do we want our labor force, our human labor force, to be the commodity? Or do we want to make a choice right now to amplify through our agents and our digital agents and our humans to orchestrate and work together? We're at a point where we can choose if we want to operate in a golden age or a dark age. And I think I used the word sprinkled earlier on in the presentation. Many companies are sprinkling AI across their departments for many good reasons, whether it's in the pursuit of productivity gains to hit their in-quarter number, but they are compromising their business. They're compromising the governance, they're compromising their compliance. Each one of these AI deployments inside of each department are point solutions. And we've all lived through the generation of CRM where we had HubSpot, Salesforce, Vantiv operating across our business. Each point solution delivers point returns, but they don't deliver the compounding returns that you may be looking for. So I challenge each one of you to not just reflect on optimization, but really how do you think about transforming your business? Think about AI against the analogy of the autonomous driving versus cruise control. That's where we are. You can reimagine not just the engine, but you can reimagine an experience that's adaptive, that's contextual, that can take you on elongated, complex journeys, not just maintain a speed on a highway to get you faster from A to B. We have a different level of power available to us today. We all grew up in this vertical world with sign-ins, access control, training per system, migrations to single instance, data optimized across a certain ERP, a HRM, a CRM. The world we're living in today is truly, truly different. It will be a conversational AI orchestration layer that your customers, your partners, and your employees can interface across. The systems of old that we learn to become friends with will become headless systems. We don't need to train our people on them. We don't need to have them interface directly with them. The time to proficiency for our labor force is fundamentally different. We're going to have to think of a world that is more horizontal and not vertical. And that is the opportunity that sits ahead of us. So let's talk about thriving. And thriving to me means relevance. Relevance to your customers, your employees, and your partners. The first question we see people ask us is, how do I bring AI into my business? And it's not always with the technology. It starts with the change management. And the first thing we encourage at CORE is please ensure that you've got leadership top-down support. And there's many ways you can equip that. That does not mean there isn't a place for citizen development. You can have bottoms up, but when the top-down support shows up, provides you with the governance, the environment to succeed, change accelerates. Obviously, you need well-governed data. Every one of you here is probably familiar with how to do that. What we know is that AI thrives when there's a room and an environment created to allow you experiment. Experimentation needs to be encouraged. Learning is a competitive advantage. Experimentation failure is what will drive your business forward. And then lastly, we deeply encourage everybody to reflect on an AI platform with all of the observability and the controls to support your business. And guess what? That's what CORE does. We provide you with this marketplace to rapidly help you accelerate deployment, multiple templates, hundreds of them to get you going. The second thing is we provide an end-to-end enterprise solution. Think of your customer experience, think of your employee experience, think of your office front to back and middle, and we can operate seamlessly across each and every one of them. We give you all of the tools to make you successful, whether that's a low code, no code, or perhaps a pro code if you want to become more sophisticated. We give you all of the observability, the compliance, and the governance. And we're agnostic to the integration. If you're on AWS or some other platform, bring it along, bring your LLM, bring your SLM. We will let your human beings thrive by giving you all of these controls with all of the connectors to link into your pre-existing systems. Let's go a little bit deeper on each one of them. The first offering we have inside of our platform is AI for Work. And here you can search across silos with our agentic RAG and LLMs. You can automate your workflow with AI agents. And most importantly, you can orchestrate. And if you're an AWS shop, you can orchestrate across Amazon, but we can also take you outside of that environment. We are deployed today at scale in the most complex environments in the world, and we're driving real measurable business outcomes that are transforming businesses at scale, delivering either customer satisfaction results or driving OpEx savings, or allowing these companies drive some new business or productivity services. AI for service is very similar, but we're focused on the customer experience. And this is where we leverage our truly agentic capabilities to empower customers to reinvent how they interact. And that is a huge game changer. We're not just focused on improving better wait times, better response times, but how do you react? We've got 46 channels that allow customers interact directly with your enterprise. This is transforming the customer journey in many, many, many ways. And finally, AI for process. And this is the one that gives you all of the controls that you would need to transform your businesses. And businesses and organizations are discovering really new ways to automate what they thought were truly complex experience that they thought could never be automated. Zero-touch IT operations, triage, detection, resolution of IT tickets. We're doing this today at scale, and it's companies like yours that have built the workflows from very simplistic, cross-departmental, with an orchestration layer that are delivering amazing outcomes. So let's think about your employee of the future. And we think about the employee, the human employee, a little bit like a mixing board. They've got dozens of inputs. They've got hundreds of adjustments and thousands of possibilities that they can make. Now, if you look at this, a novice will just see complexity. But if you're a professional, it's an instrument of creation. You don't need to be a songwriter. You don't need to be the best instrument player to be a great sound or mixing board person. But this allows somebody to orchestrate into something beautiful. And that is the power of bringing your AI agents with your human agents together to orchestrate work in a very, very unique way. So how do you measure success in the future when you are thriving? And we think the way to measure success is not based on the number of AI agents that you may have deployed. It's not going to be based on the sophistication of the LLMs. In fact, we see many companies migrating now for cost reasons or optimization reasons to SLMs. Don't participate in the arms race that you see in the media, which is Company X has deployed 1 million AI agents. Company X has chosen X partner to embed inside of their ecosystem. Ask yourself, what are the creative new revenue streams that my company can create? What is the new OpEx model that my company can create? What are the new services and products that my company can create? That is not only will make you different, but they're the questions that we think that will allow you to become better. Thank you for taking the time to hear our story today. If you'd like to join us, we're down at booth 1753. You'll get to see the demos of what we have live in the wild, serving our customers on a daily basis. Thank you very much.